All right, you all, my loyal legion of Eagles. This has really become my favorite part of the week. Truly, I look forward to this. It is time for Ask Uncle Chael. First question comes from Dead Flag Theory. What is Josh Hokit ranked a year from today? I think it's very unlikely that Josh Hokit get beat. There is only a couple of guys that can go with Hokit, and that's right now. And that's even go with him, right? I believe Alex Pereira can go with anybody since he's been world champion multiple times in 2 different sports, by the way. I think you'd be very rude to discount Tom Aspinall, who is the sitting champion of the world. You're not guaranteed that anyone else can go with him. I think that Gable Steveson in time could fit into that category and possibly is one of the guys now. But I don't know that anybody else can win a round. I don't want to disrespect Volkov. I feel like I was very hard on Volkov last week, by the way. But Volkov is ranked number 2 in the world at heavyweight. And Volkov has kind of proved that he's at least right there. He's at least 3 or 4. So if Volkov's ranking is true, and when I see Volkov, I don't believe that Volkov could win a round against Josh. And then the real question comes, and I think that we'll probably get our answer in the Derek Lewis fight, is can Josh go get those takedowns? He's a 2-time All-American, but can he go get those takedowns? And taking down bigger guys, it's a different thing. And if the answer is yes, if Josh can go get a takedown whenever he wants it, well, then that changes the whole conversation with Pereira, who's never wrestled. It changes the whole conversation with Tom. But we don't have that answer yet. And the reason I wanted to take you down that road is so that you understand, where's Josh going to be? Well, he's either going to be the world champion, or they're not going to let him fight for the belt. And he's going to be in that 2-3 position, right? Similar to Volkov. And Volkov holding down number 2, again, without being a jerk to Volkov, but we have a real weakness with our rankings committee. That rankings committee can't put Volkov in front of Surreal because he lost to him head-to-head. And there's nobody in the rankings committee that believes that Volkov could beat Alex Pereira. But they still put him at number 2, and they just don't have the courage to come out. And they'll even tell you, if you speak to him in private, well, until he gets beat, that was his spot, until somebody comes and takes it. It's like, no. When the world champion from 2 different weight classes moves into yours, the most unathletic weight class in the sport, you don't keep Volkov's ranking over Alex. You just don't, right? Alex is signed for a title fight. You just don't keep those rankings. Coach Herbo. Oh, what's up, Coach? Nice to hear from you. Why didn't you vote for me in the InfoWrestle Twitter World Championships? I did vote for you. And can I count on you to vote for me in the bronze medal match? Yes, but I did vote for you. I did vote for you. That isn't true. I 100% voted for you in the InfoWrestle. They must have shown that I voted and then told you it wasn't for you. That's not true. I thought that my vote was private, by the way, but I did vote, and I did vote for you. Yeah, the bronze medal, yes, I'll look for that. I might need a reminder. All right, Diag says, do you have a line of trash talk on an opponent you said? Do you have a line of trash talk an opponent has said to you that you actually found funny? No, guys were so scared of me. Guys were terrified. Yeah, they found best not to poke the bear. And I don't know if they're right. I don't know. I'm not telling you that I could have beat them in a rap battle, though I likely could have. I'm just telling you I never found myself in one. They didn't like what I was saying about them while they were being nice to me and I was in a good mood. And they strategically did not want to find out what I would do to them if I was in a bad mood. So no, I never had an opponent come at me. Squires does. Strange name. Have you ever wanted to get those losses back from Jeremy Horn and what happened in those fights? Yeah, I wanted to get him back. It's why I kept fighting that son of a bitch. Of course I wanted him back. I have never been embarrassed about those. And Pat Miletich, Jeremy's coach, Jeremy's friend, teased me about it. And I didn't understand that. I mean, I got to tell you, I didn't understand it. Like, Jeremy Horn was ranked number 1 in the world. He eventually got beat by Anderson Silva and put him to number 2, but Horn was ranked in front of him. Horn was ranked number 1. Horn had beaten Chuck Liddell. People believed that Horn could be the UFC champion. He just wasn't with the organization. Horn beat everybody. No one would fight him. I flew in and fought him on 1 day's notice. 1 day's notice, I flew to his hometown. Boom, he dropped an elbow on me. Disfigured me. 22 stitches. And a total mess. Monty Cox put on a show in the middle of nowhere, and there was no doctor. I had to get into a cab and go to some emergency room of a hospital. I told that story one time, and Monty tried to buck up, and I don't know why. Monty is a scumbag, but I've never called him a scumbag. Never. He is the dirtiest player ever in this game, but I've never said that about him. And it did annoy me when Monty bucked up. Monty put on a show. I got split open. Monty didn't have a medical team there. Monty didn't even get me a taxi to the emergency room. I had to do this. I'm only sharing that with you that when he came out and argued and resisted that I said that, it really pissed me off. I had the right to be a little angry at that treatment. And he really should have just apologized. But instead he lied about it. It's like, hey, Monty, you don't want to start lying, bro. I'll start telling the truth about you. You don't want that fight with me, you scumbag. Menace MMA. Where does Strickland rank all-time at middleweight? Does Khamzat need a fixed camp? Does Khamzat need a fixed camp? I don't know what that means. I don't know what a fixed camp means. Where does Strickland rank? Boy, you got to put him right towards the top just with those wins. Like, I think Izzy is number 1. But if he's not, then he's number 2. You know, the discussion would just be between Izzy and Anderson. I tend to think that we always favor the generation that came before us, but the reality is the future is always better than the past. So if we give Izzy that credit, then we would have to put him at number 1. And the fact that Sean beat him means something, but then you chalk it up to, okay, hey, everybody has a good night. Well, Sean's now had 2. He now had 2 good nights that they said that he could never have. And I'm not sure that Imavov isn't the next best thing. I'm not sure. If they book Chimaev, Imanov, I think that that's an interesting match. And Sean beat him too. I mean, I think that Sean has really shown that as long as your name isn't Dricus Duplessis, you can't deal with him. All right, Weed Goku says, why don't you smoke weed to improve your rap game? You know, I don't smoke weed for a number of reasons, but none of which are stronger than I like to look down my nose at those of you that do. You pulled the greatest scam of my lifetime, which was to convince the government of the United States that your drug was a medicine. And I applaud you, and I stand back, and I fully concede that you won. But I still will never join that group. Maber says, Chael, who would win in a pistol duel? Thud, Chud the Builder, or Doc Holliday? Doc Holliday, dumb question. Spook Deadly. What do you think of the Khamzat weight cut? Do you think he made weight? All right, let's just So let's just stop right there. And I realize that you had more to your question, Spook Deadly. But he had a very normal weight cut. There is no truth that he cut 46 pounds. There is no truth to that. That is fiction. Not to mention beyond impossible. Beyond. You're taking impossible and then you're timesing it by 2. Cannot be done by a human being. And wasn't. And by the way, he doesn't even claim it. Somebody in the industry misspoke. And that somebody was either naive and just repeated what he was heard, which you got to give him a pass for, or that somebody has never cut weight. And losing weight versus cutting weight are 2 different things, but they invoked the word cut, and they're an expert in the industry, so they have to know what cut means. Cut does not lose. Cut does not calories in to calories out over a period of time. Cut is once you've lost what you can lose due to calories in, calories out, and where the finish line is at. Once you do that, you're then going to pull water. You're going to dehydrate. That is what cut weight means. It means you are going to dehydrate. And he dehydrated about 20 pounds. It was actually a little less than that, 17. That's a lot, but it's possible. It also has nothing to do with the fight. It was yesterday. It's really hard for me to explain to somebody that's never done this how long ago yesterday was. Yesterday is a lot. You can have broken, you can have torn, you can have fractured, and if you have a right doctor with the right Novocaine, and you got a whole day, right? I mean, weird example. I'm just trying to share with you, like cutting weight. So what? So what that your body was depleted and run down and dehydrated? So what? That was yesterday. Not only was it yesterday, it was yesterday morning. I'm not talking 24 hours ago. I'm talking 36. You not only had a day, you had a day and a half. No fighter has ever made the claim that the weight cut affected their performance. No fighter. Commentators have done that for them and fans have done that for them. But no fighter's ever made the claim just because it was yesterday. A weight cut would be very related to one's performance if it was immediate. I come from the world of wrestling. They weigh you in. You not only compete the same day, you compete 2 hours later. If it's a 2-day tournament, like the World Championships, like the Olympic Games, like the National Championship, if it's a 2-day tournament, you weigh in both days. So I'm just sharing for you, those guys can do it that are keeping that weight down, pulling back down, got to do it twice, got to compete 2 hours. They can do it. Imagine a one-time weigh-in a day and a half ago. It has nothing to do with your performance. And by the way, on the 46 pounds, I don't know the answer to this, but I don't believe, literally, I don't believe, if I cut your arm off, I don't believe that would be 46 pounds. If I cut off your arm and your leg, I've probably found 46 pounds, but it's only a probably. 46 pounds, the idea that he cut 46 is just, I can't tell you how silly that is. I'm trying to tell you how silly it is, but I can't. It's beyond ridiculous. But understand this, no fighter ever has made that claim. Non-fighters have made the claim and brought it to our industry. Keep that in mind. Last question from Rudy, and only because your name is Rudy. What do you think of Masvidal's hair? And how hard did you laugh when you saw his new hairline? You know, I'm open to a guy trying to look nicer. I'm open to it. And age is a hard thing. And maybe you're young enough, you haven't gone through it yet, but age is a hard thing. Like Chuck Kearney told me, and Chuck Kearney got this from Chuck Kearney Sr., but he said, God's going to give us 20 years. God's going to give us 20 good years, and when we're in them, we're not going to appreciate them. We're not going to know that these are the good years. You don't know until they're gone, and then you will spend the rest of your life trying to get back to those 20. As a matter of fact, he said, God will give you 20 good years. You'll then spend the next 20 trying to get back to those 20. And it's only after those 40 years that you accept, and then you can move on with who you currently are. And I don't know if Masvidal did anything wrong. Quite frankly, as far as hair goes, they did a good job. Right? I mean, I laugh at Masvidal. I look at Masvidal and I laugh. But specifically at his new hair, if that gave him a little confidence, gave him a little pride, fair play. Good for George.